Hey Polish fans, it's Caroline again and welcome to another video here at Wild Moon Lacquer. In today's video, as you can see, we are delving into summer polishes. This will be part one of my summer nail polish rack. It is a collaboration, so make sure to check out down below for a list of all of the other participants that will be posting videos as well. And I'm sure you'll find a lot of really fun summer nail polish colors. I'm really excited to check out what everyone has posted as well. As always, a huge thank you to Amanda from the Nail Polish Hound and Nika from nikasnaughtynails on YouTube for all of the help that they give behind the scenes, making the lists that we use down below for all of the collaborations and for our really fun thumbnails that we get to use for the collab. So we're just going to jump right into part one. You guys are going to see a lot of pinks, surprisingly. This entire section over here is mainly pinks. You've got fuchsias and magentas, and I've got an entire color wheel of them to show you. Basically just two purples, because towards the end of this nail wheel we start getting into our purples. But yeah, so we're going to be talking pinks. I hope you like pinks. Alright, the first one is an Emily Damali. This one is for keeps. This one is a really fun holographic glitter bomb. So you have a lot of the holographic glitters in here in a magenta or fuchsia. It is in a clear base, so I think I might end up using this as sort of a topper over either, actually possibly over this one here from China Glaze. This one is for real though. I will say I was really surprised with how sheer this one was. I don't think I did swatch that one when I initially got it, and it is a lot more sheer than I was anticipating. However, a color like that would help give this one a bit more of an opaque base, but this is it in two coats. As you can see, it's an absolute glitter bomb, very, very fun and sparkly. I mean, look at that holo. I think that one's going to be an absolute blast to wear. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing an entire mani of this. I might try to do this as maybe an accent nail, but we'll see. So that first one was Emily Damali for keeps. The second polish is from Cupcake Polish. This one is Gamma, and this is another really bright pink. I think I'm going to be repeating myself on that throughout this part one of the video, so apologies about that ahead of time. But this is a really bright pink, and look at that shimmer and those flakies. The base of this is nearly neon. It is very, very bright. Then you've got that shimmer and those flakies. This is it in two coats. Very glowy. You get the glow from the shimmer and from those flakies. I think this is another one that's going to be really, really beautiful on the nail. It is a more sheer formula, so again, if you wanted it to be fully opaque, you'd probably want to wear this over either a blurring base coat or an opaque cream of a similar color to the base. But another fun pink for summer. Again, that was Cupcake Polish Gamma. Next up, we're looking at a polish from JReine. This one is called TikTok Mr. Wick from their Wick Collection Volume 3. Had to include this one because, again, you're combining some things that I absolutely love. Bright, bright pinks with some blue shimmer in this one. Now, you will see this side by side with the Cupcake Polish, but as you can see, they have different ingredients. So the Cupcake Polish had flakies as well as shimmer. The one from JReine just has that larger particled shimmer in there. They do have somewhat similar flashes, but they aren't identical. So I did want to include this one because it is absolutely gorgeous. This is it in two coats. Again, a very, very glowy polish. I think you can tell what I was talking about a little bit more on the nail. You've got the larger flakes here on the cupcake, and then a different type of shimmer in the one from JReine. Both are absolutely gorgeous. This one does have, as you can see, a pretty jelly formula as well. So again, if you wanted this to be fully opaque, you'd probably want to put this over a cream. But this type of juicy, squishy formula is really fun to wear on the nails. I actually just wore a polish that was somewhat squishy from Color Club, and I had a really fun time with that on the nails. So I might try that with this one. So that was JReine's TikTok Mr. Wick. Next up, we're looking at another one from JReine. This time it's called Reef Queen. This came out in the charity box last year, and it is another stunner of a color. This one, just to compare it to TikTok Mr. Wick, you can see that it has a completely different formulation. The particle size in Reef Queen is larger, and the shimmer particles have a different shift altogether. So a Reef Queen is more of a deep coral, and those shifting particles shift from hot pink to a gold towards the edges. A little bit of orange popping up at certain angles, a little bit of green as well. This one is another absolutely gorgeous glowy polish on the nail, and as you can see, it's completely different on the nail compared to TikTok. This one has such a warm glow about it. It is absolutely gorgeous. I think this one is definitely a favorite and one that I'm probably going to want to get on my nails sooner rather than later. It is really, really pretty, and like I said, that warm glow of this shimmer in here is a favorite. I absolutely love it. So that one is JReine's Reef Queen. Next up, we've got one from Phoenix Nail Polish. This one is called I Blow Stuff Up. This came out in Hella Handmade Creations from December 2021. This is getting into a different tone of pink, so this is more of a hot pink with like a touch of purple in it. And then you've got that really beautiful blue shimmer particle in it. Again, this is one of my favorite combinations, a bright pink with blue or some other shimmer in there. Blue is definitely my favorite, but as you saw with JReine's Reef Queen, I love the combination with orange in it as well. This one is a bit more opaque than the other polishes so far. This is it again in 2 coats, and as you can see, it's nice and opaque. That glow is just absolutely gorgeous. I just love that combo. That's so, so pretty. This is another one that I think I'm probably going to want to get on my fingers sooner rather than later, but that was Phoenix I Blow Stuff Up. Next up, we're looking at a mainstream. This comes from China Glaze. This is Pink and Poppy, and it came out in their Trolls World Tour collection. It is a really beautiful sparkle bomb. It is a pink, somewhat in the watermelon family, and it is full of this shimmer particle in like a glass fleck. What I was actually surprised by though is how sheer this one was. I wasn't expecting it to be as sheer as it was, although I guess I should have known looking in the bottle how well you can see the bubble going around. Might have been an indication about how sheer this one was, but this is it in 2 coats. It is a really pretty color. I just was expecting it to be a bit more opaque. But it is so, so pretty on the nail. It somewhat has an icy look to it with the type of glass fleck particle that's in this one. I do think longer nails would probably want a 3rd coat, or again, you could wear this over an undie polish, so wear it over a bright hot pink underneath, and that way you'd get an opaque base to put this one over. But that was China Glaze Pink and Poppy. Next up, we got another China Glaze, this time in a cream formula. This one is called For Real Though, and actually it's not so much a cream as it is a crelly. It again was more squishy than I thought it would be. This one came out in the Sesame Street You Do Hue collection. It is a really gorgeous color, but again, it was just more sheer than I thought it would be. This is it in 2 coats. I do think some nails might get away with these 2 coats, but I think longer nails would probably want a 3rd, or again, like with this one, you might try it like just as is and see if you like this squishy formula. I've found that with brighter colors like this, I actually like the juicy factor, so we'll see if I like it on its own. But I thought it was a really gorgeous color of pink, and another one that I'm excited to see on my nails because I've been really into pinks lately. So that was China Glaze For Real Though. Next up, we've got another indie polish, this time from Different Dimension. This is Thanks a Melon. And while it says melon in the name, this is definitely more of a neon bright pink. Again, it's full of a beautiful shimmer particle and somewhat of a glass fleck size. More pinks and blues, and I think this one shifts to gold. Yeah, you can see that towards the edge of the bottle. This is it in 2 coats. This one is also a little bit on the sheer side, but it's to be expected with this type of formula from indies, so it wasn't too big of a surprise. But again, it's a gorgeous color, and I love the shimmer in this one. You've got that slightly warmer shift that it goes to, but then at other angles, you've got that pink on pink with a little bit of blue. So again, that one was Different Dimension. Thanks a Melon. Next up, we've got one from Path Lacquer. This is called Donna. This came out in their summer collection, was it 2021? I think this is a really fun, bright pink again, very similar in tone to Thanks a Melon. Although I think by comparison, Thanks a Melon actually has a bit more of a dark color in the bottle at least. This is it in 2 coats. This one also, at least on this swatch, has a bit more of a squishy formula than I remember it having. I did swatch this one when it initially came, so I'm wondering if maybe I just didn't shake it up enough. But again, the color is absolutely gorgeous on this one. I will say that these 3 together ended up looking a lot more similar than I thought they would on the nails. In the bottle, I thought that they looked a lot more different, which is why I kept all 3, but I am thinking that I probably could have done with knocking one of them out of the race for my summer rack. But so that one was Lights Lacquer, Donna. Next up, we've got one from Rogue Lacquer. This one is Summer Pun. It came out in their summer advent calendar for 2022. I think I added every single color from that collection to my summer rack, so you're going to see a lot of them. Unfortunately, this was a limited edition advent calendar that she released last month. However, I had been seeing on her Facebook page that she had some left over, so when she opens the shop again this month, I'm not sure about the time, you can check her Facebook page, she might have a couple more available, so just keep that in mind. Apologies about it being limited edition, but this is a really beautiful cream-based pink. It is loaded with a flaky and a black flaky. I love the combination of a black flaky with an iridescent one. I think it comes off really beautifully on the nail. This is it in 2 coats. You definitely have a bright neon hot pink. And again, I love the combination of the iridescent flakies with the black flakies in here. Definitely unique to my summer rack and my collection in general. So had to include that one. So that was Rogue Lacquer's Summer Pun. Next up is one from Cupcake Polish. This is, I think, our first holo. This is called The Tiki to My Heart, and it is a beautiful bright pink holo. Someone has a bit of a fuchsia flair to it, and actually if you look closely, there are some flakies in here as well. It's definitely not the main component. They are a little bit of a pink fleck. If you see that sort of a pink glow against the holo, that's those flakies. So this is it in 2 coats. I think this one is beautifully opaque in just 2 coats. Look at that holo. I love the addition of those flakies because in this formulation, it adds a really neat glow to the polish. They don't stand out like other flakies, but they definitely add something to the polish. And again, this color is just absolutely gorgeous. Very vibrant and summery. So that was Cupcake Polish, The Tiki to My Heart. Next up is one from Garden Path Lacquers. This is Lonicera or Honeysuckle. This came out in their debut collection when they rebranded from Lollipop to Garden Path Lacquer, and I bought the entire collection. It was absolutely gorgeous, so I had to include this one in the summer rack. It is beautiful. Do you see that green to blue shift in there? Absolutely stunning. You've got the gold here, then it shifts to that beautiful aqua and green. Just beautiful. It's got the shifting shimmer and flakies in here. Another gorgeous combination from Garden Path Lacquer. This is it in 2 coats. It is one of the more sheer formulations, but just look at that glow. Just gorgeous and very unique amongst the pinks in my summer rack. Just dazzling. I cannot get enough of that blue and green that I see popping up. Just gorgeous. So that was Garden Path Lacquer's Lonicera. Next up, we've got sort of an oddball. This one is from Orly, and it is called String of Hearts. I think this one may have come out in the fall. Yeah, the fall 2021 collection, but I liked the color, and to my eyes, this does sort of ride the line between a summer color and a fall color, so I thought I would include it to give myself some variety. This is it in 2 coats. I feel on camera it does come off a bit more red leaning. It is definitely more of like a mulberry shade, a little darker as you can see from the rest of the colors that I've pulled so far from our summer rack in the pink family. But I thought that would be A really nice addition to the summer rack. As a cream, it would give me something to layer some of these sheer polishes over, and I just really like the color. So we'll see how I end up wearing that, but that one was Orly's String of Hearts. Next up, we've got another pink from LA Colors. This one is called Legend. I will say this is already in my timeout box because I hated the application with this. If you guys saw me when I hauled this and a couple other really fun summer colors a while back now, I hate the brushes on these things. The application on this was not fun. So it's very short. The brush itself, like the actual bristles, are not bad. It's a nice, flat, somewhat wide brush. But having to use this huge thing on such a short stem is not fun. I have not enjoyed the swatching experience so far with this. So just something to keep in mind. I'm sure you have something very similar to it in your collection already, especially if you have been a pink fan for longer than I have. I'm still fairly new to the pinks. This is, I think, my second year of my summer pinks. So yeah, fairly new, and this one was definitely one that had caught my eye. So let's go ahead and just take a look at it. You can judge for yourself if you think you have something somewhat similar. This is it in 2 coats. Again, tonally, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. It is a very specific shade of pink that I cannot think of what to name it or call it, but it is like a, I guess we'll go with magenta. It's got that pinch of purple in it, but it is still very firmly in the pink family. And I will say, formulation-wise, it's not the best either. So again, it's already sort of in my timeout box because swatching it was not very fun. But it is a beautiful color. We shall see if I end up wearing it or not. But that was LA Colors Legend. Next up is one from Path Lacquer. This one is called Skip It. This one also came out in the same collection as Donna. And just to compare the two, Donna is definitely more on the pink side, whereas Skip It is more on the purple side of things. Definitely glad that I got both because they are very different. And like I said, this one does lean more towards the purple side of things in the pink family. So this is it in 2 coats. This one does have somewhat of a squishy formula. I think longer nails might need a 3rd coat, but just look at that beautiful hue. This one sort of would be described as maybe like an orchid leaning pink. But love this one a lot. I think this is another one that I'm going to have to get on my nails sooner rather than later. Love the tone of this one. So that's Path Lacquer Skip It. Next up, we're going back to indies. This is Emily Damali, Blur the Line. This is a really beautiful flaky polish in a surprisingly opaque base. This one has a really beautiful combination of flakies in it. And I want to say I see either a bit of scattered holo in there or something else that's twinkling away. Maybe another micro glitter. But it's an absolutely gorgeous color. Here it is in 2 coats. As I said, it's got more of an opaque base than some of the other colors that we've been looking at. And it is a deeper tone as well. Maybe more of a late summer polish, but I love the colors in this one, so I wanted to include it in my summer rack. I love the colors that you're seeing. A bit of blue, some orange popping up there in those flakies. Some gold at certain angles as well. So that one was Emily Damali, Blur the Line. And then we're going straight to another Emily Damali. This one is Have a Purpose. This is one of her shimmer polishes and it is absolutely gorgeous. This is it in 2 coats. Her shimmer polishes usually are a little on the sheer side. I do think some nail lengths though with this one might get away with just 2 coats. Longer nails might need a 3rd, or if you don't mind an ethereal look on the nail, you could keep it at 2. Or again, with these sheer polishes, you can wear them over a blurring base coat or just over an undie. So pick a color that matches the polish that you're trying to wear it under. But again, I love the warm glow to this one. You've got golds and oranges popping up against this beautiful shade of orchidy purple pink. Just beautiful. So that one was Emily Damali, Have a Purpose. Next up, and our last technical pink, I think, getting into our purples, is from KB Shimmer. This one is called Superior Sunset, and it is a reflective polish that came out in May's Polish Pickup this year, 2022. And look at this gorgeous, gorgeous color. This one does have that pinch of purple in it, and look at that shimmer. This one has a lovely aqua to blue to maybe even purple shift in it. Then you have those reflective glitters. It's a really gorgeous and unique combination. This is it in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. On these reflective polishes, I will say that you might need at least 2 coats of top coat if you use a thin one like I did. I used Orly's second dry top coat, and it's been notorious for me for not covering enough of the texture on the reflective polishes, but I have had pretty decent luck using like Vibrant Vinyls or my other indie top coats, so you might be able to do that to get it nice and glossy for you. But I love the combination of this one. That green to blue shift on the shimmer is just gorgeous. So that was KB Shimmer's Superior Sunset. Now we're getting into our mid-tone purples. First up we have Rogue Lacquer's Sun and Games. This is another that came out in the summer advent calendar for 2022, and it is a really beautiful bright purple full of these beautiful iridescent flakies in like a gold to orange. Maybe a little bit of green at certain angles. This does have a really nice cream formula. This is it in 2 coats. Again, I absolutely adore the shade of purple that this one is. Really fun for summer. The addition of the flakies does make this one stand out, and even tonally this one is fairly unique to my collection in general, but especially to my summer rack. I only have these 2 purples in this specific tone of purple. So I really like this one, and again, really want to get this one on my nails sooner rather than later. Maybe I'll have to come back and do like a Skittles mani with the Rogue Lacquer from that collection. But that was Rogue Lacquer's Sun and Games. And then the last polish that we're going to look at in part 1 of my summer rack is from China Glaze, another from the Trolls World Tour collection. This one is called Funky Beat, and it is another in that same family as that Rogue Lacquer. It is a mid-tone bright purple. This is a cream formula. Here it is in 2 coats. Love this one as well. I think the tone of this is really gorgeous. That's another one from China Glaze, and that last one was Funky Beat. So there you have it. That was our polishes from part 1. So many pinks this time. I kind of surprised myself, and I had even gone through at one point back in the spring when I was putting together my summer rack initially and whittled down the pinks. So this is less than I had initially. How surprising is that? Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below which polishes were your favorites of our pinks that we discussed, and make sure to look at the list down below for all of the other participants' videos and see what they've posted so far for their summer racks. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in part 2.